This is the plaintiff, Casey Oldkirk. She says she rented an apartment from the defendant, and there were problems right from the get-go. The toilet kept backing up. The place was infested with roaches, and one of the disgusting bugs crawled into her baby's ear. When she complained, the defendant kicked her out. The place wasn't even legal. And she's suing for the $1,000 security deposit the defendant is withholding from her. This is the defendant, Stefan Hines. He says the plaintiff was the one who brought the rodents in with her when she moved in. She was very disrespectful towards him, and he had to formally evict her to get her to move out. As far as him withholding her security, she never gave him a security deposit to begin with, and he doesn't owe this woman a penny. He's accused of lousy landlording.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff rented from the defendant and says the toilet backed up, the place was infested with roaches, and a bug crawled in her baby's ear. The defendant says the plaintiff brought in the rodents. It is the case of stick it in your ear.
Okay. You were renting a basement apartment from the defendant?
Yes.
How did you find that apartment?
Well, my son was going to his daycare, and then he asked me if I needed a place to rent or so on, and then I said yes, because one of my
So
coworkers...
your son was going to a daycare that he ran?
Yeah. on
Oh,
Utica.
okay.
And then I said yes, because I'm going to bring my son back, because my son went out of the country for a holiday, right? So I was bringing him back now, so he's going to go to the daycare. I'm going to rent from him and everything.
You say you were, in your complaint, you say you were new to this country. Where had you come from?
I came from Guyana.
Okay, and how long have you been here?
I've been here in 2017, May.
May of 2017. Okay,
Yeah.
so go ahead.
So I moved in his apartment April 6th. And
Of
I
what
moved,
year?
2018.
Okay.
And I moved out in December.
All right. Now, at some point while you're living there, according to you, you experienced some problems.
Yes.
Bugs, roaches?
Roaches, bugs, sewage backing up, and a foul smell was coming from a room.
How much are you paying in rent?
I was paying $1,000 a month.
All right. And then do you tell him about these problems?
Yes, I did.
And what does he do about them?
Well, when I told him about the sewage, he came and he looked it after with the roaches. He never came when the sewage back up. I had to find money to clean the place and everything.
Okay. All right. So you decide to leave when?
Well, he took me to court because he gave me a notice after I tell him that he's not looking after the place and I'm paying my money and I'm supposed to be satisfied and comfortable. He told me to get out of his place, and he came late one night to bring the notice for me to get out of his place. And he told me he's not going to collect any rent from me for September, because he usually come pick up the rent. He never came for it.
So did you
or
pay
anything.
September?
No.
October, November, December?
No, because...
When did you get out?
I got out December.
And why did you get out? Was there a court order for you to get out?
Yes. The court told me I have up to 6 months to stay in the place till I find something, and I'm not
6
supposed...
months?
Yes, they said I have up to 6 months. But he told...
6 months?
Yes. And he
6
told
months
them...
more?
No. They told me it's legal that...
No, it's not.
No, I'm saying what they said.
No, I believe you.
Yeah.
I believe they told you that, but that is not how it works. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah.
What's going on here? She's paying her rent, but she's living in a roach-infested place. According to you, the bug was crawling in your kid's ear?
Yeah, one of the bugs went into the
kind of
baby's
bug?
ear. It's a roach.
Roach?
There were some small roaches in the
Oh,
apartment.
it didn't go in his ear?
Yeah, so it went into his ears.
Oh, it went into his ear?
Yeah, it went into the baby's ears.
How do you know? Did you see it?
Yeah, because when
So did you stop it from going inside your child's eardrum? What'd you do?
I didn't see when it crawled, but I was checking his ears, because babies, you got to check them. So when I pulled his ears, I thought it was wax. I took him to his doctor. She said, yeah, it looked like it's just a clog. It's wax. It's going to drop out. Just put some olive oil. But when I put the olive oil, it moved.
When you put the what?
The olive oil.
Olive oil?
Yes.
That's what the doctor told you to do?
Yeah, she said,
Okay.
don't put too much, just a little bit.
It moved and what?
It moved in the ears. So I was like, this is not wax, because wax would move.
What evidence do you have that there was a roach in your child's ear? Do you have any evidence? Do you have a picture? Do you have a video? Do you have a doctor's report or no?
I don't have a picture,
Okay.
but I have
Let me hear
somebody
from you.
to see
What's
it.
going on here? Did you rent her an apartment?
I did give her my space. I gave up my space so that she could be comfortable.
What's your space?
Well, I was actually living there. I own and operate a group family daycare, where someone must be living in the facility. I have more than one daycare, and I actually met her at the daycare. One of my tenants.
Okay, who's living in the, is this a house?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so are you living in the house?
I was originally living in a house, Your Honor.
Were you living in the house when she was living in the house?
No, Your Honor. So I gave up my space.
Is that true, or was he living in the house according to you?
He wasn't living in the house when I was in there.
So go on.
I gave up my space so that she could live there because she had nowhere to go.
What is this zoned?
This is a two-family home, Your Honor.
Okay, was there anybody else living there?
No. So I have the daycare there. I was living inside the facility.
Okay, so you used to live in the basement.
Yes.
And the first floor, what's going on there?
So the first floor is a daycare. It's a duplex.
The second floor, what's going on?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Is there a unit up there?
Yes. So it's pretty much a new property that I own. I'm a real estate investor.
Can you answer my question? Is there an apartment in the second floor?
Yes, Your Honor.
And nobody's living there. That's your testimony.
Yes, at the
All right,
time,
now
Your Honor.
you laughed. Why did you laugh?
Because there was people living upstairs.
On the top floor?
On the top floor.
And then on the second floor is the daycare.
Then he opened the daycare on the second floor, and I was in the basement.
And you were in the basement?
Yes.
Okay, so go on.
So when she came to me and she let me know she had nowhere to go, she wanted to bring her child from outside of the country. I made preparations so that she could bring her child into the country.
What does that mean? What preparations did you make so she could bring her child? I don't know what that phrase
I
means.
relocated myself. I told her, I'm okay with helping her out by giving her a discount to attend the daycare and also to stay inside the place. It's a group family daycare, which means somebody must be living there.
Is that a yes then? You did rent out your place to her?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So you rent out the place to her, and how much are you charging?
$1,000, Your Honor.
Okay, and then what happens?
So what happened was she was there, and I told her just for her and her child only, nobody else. I really didn't want to give the space up. Next thing you know, her boyfriend popped up in the picture, and I think he was providing assistance to her because he started interacting with me and giving me money for the daycare and anything else. There came a point in time, I don't know what they had going on, but I guess he stopped supporting or helping out. So then she started, come with a few excuses. So, I tried my best to work with her as best as I can. And he started coming to me and disrespecting me at a different business that I own.
Saying what?
Well, he didn't like the way that I interact with her.
Meaning what? What did he say to you?
He doesn't like the way I talk to Casey.
Because he feels it's too what?
Well, he said he's the one making the payments, not her. So he wants to talk to me and deal with me. I didn't agree with it, but it was a situation.
Okay.
So at a certain point in time, I told Casey, hey, listen, I don't think this is working out. So I think it's just best we go our separate ways.
Why did you feel that?
Because I was helping her out, and she started bringing other people into the picture.
So you didn't like that?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so you told her to do what?
I asked her if we can go our separate ways. I never told her to get out. I don't do stuff like that.
What does separate ways mean? It has to mean that.
Yes,
She's
Your
on
Honor.
a month-to-month, or does she have a lease?
No, it was an informal agreement, Your Honor.
Which is a month-to-month or a year lease?
Month-to-month, Your Honor.
All right, so you tell her, look, you got to go, and then what happens?
And then her boyfriend said, I'm not going anywhere. Take us to court.
Okay, and then what happens?
So we ended up in court, Your Honor, and then the judge, she, I don't know the word to use.
Do you guys have the paperwork from the
Yes,
eviction?
Your Honor.
Can I see it? I'll figure it out. Okay, so she gave you a writ of possession, which means you got her out.
Yes, Your
So
Honor.
when the marshals get involved, what did the marshals actually get her out?
Well, she left just the day before the marshals
The
came.
day
Your
before
Honor.
the marshals. So apparently the man you're dating has explained to you exactly how to play the system in America. All right. So now, when you were in court, did the issue come up about whether you have a right to rent the basement?
No, Your Honor.
And you say it did.
Yes, they said it's an illegal apartment, and I'm not to give him any rent.
Did that happen?
No, Your Honor. I never asked.
What proof do you have of that? Because the thing I'm looking at, the actual adjudication doesn't say that.
How many roaches before you can bail in an apartment?
One is too many, sir.
One? I mean, really? That you can't give the landlord a chance?
I'd give it about 500.
That's disgusting.
Unless I check into the Roach Motel, uno, and I'm out of there.
Uno, going inside the courtroom.
And you have said that he's not living in the middle floor, but he is running a business out of it. Did you end up getting in trouble for running the business out of the second floor?
No, Your Honor. It's actually on the main level. The main level.
Main level, right. There's
Your Honor.
a basement, a main level, and a second story. So did you get into trouble for running the business out of the main floor?
No, Your Honor. The Department of Health has approved the basement level and the main level are together as one unit.
Yeah, but you had it separate. You were renting the basement out to her. So that has to be a problem.
They want somebody living inside the actual facility, Your Honor.
Yeah, but so were you living there?
I was originally living there, and I left so she could stay
Yeah,
there.
but do you understand then? Well, I don't know what you're saying. So you're saying to me that part of your deal is that you're supposed to be living where, for you to be able to have the license to run the daycare, you're supposed to be living there.
Someone is supposed to be living there, not
Anybody, some rapist could live there? No, it has to be somebody associated with the daycare, right? And then you move out, and then you're renting it out, right? So isn't that a problem or no?
Not exactly, Your Honor. They legally want someone to be live inside the facility. It doesn't necessarily have to be myself.
Who can it be? A complete stranger? They don't want that around the kids. I don't understand. They're talking about you or somebody related, you or somebody else has connection to the daycare living there. That's what the requirement is for you to run a daycare out of your home. And then it's not your home because you're making money by renting it out to her. That I can't imagine that that's okay. See, this is important because what's in dispute here is the security deposit, correct?
Yeah.
There's a $1,000 security deposit?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and the dispute here is whether or not he can keep it for rent, right? That's why you're keeping it, because she didn't pay rent for all those months, right?
For all those months and additional expenses, just living expenses in general, there were damages to the property.
Well, that you got to prove. What damages are they?
Okay, Your Honor, she damaged the sewer line on her way out.
How?
I think she was putting diapers or something.
What evidence do you know? But I don't deal in think. That could be your old pipes.
Yes, Your Honor.
So do you have proof that she would be responsible for damage to the place? I expect you now to show me where she broke a doorknob, busted a light, scratched a wall, something like that. Or a plumber's receipt that says that she shoved diapers down a pipe. Show me that. You have anything like that?
I just have a picture, Your Honor, of the toilet and the shower being backed up.
But backed up could be for reasons that aren't responsibility of the tenant. I need you to show me how the plumber said it's the tenant's responsibility. You have that?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, then you don't have proof of damages. Now, what else are you keeping the money for? Rent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So you say somebody was living on the top floor.
Yes.
Who were they? Do you know them?
There were 2 guys living on the top floor.
Okay. You claim that that's not true.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I think that the reason you're claiming that's not true is because you darn well know that you have a 2-family home and you are running 3 families in it. 1 family's you on the main floor because you're running your daycare out of there. The other family is whoever's renting on top, and whether it's rented or not, it has its own kitchen and its own bathroom. And then downstairs in the basement, you also have its own kitchen and its own bathroom. There are rules. You have to go to the city and get it zoned and inspected and make it into a 3-family. What you're doing is you're not doing that, and then you're playing this shell game with me where you're just trying to stay away from this little problem that we have, which is you can't rent out separately that bottom. I don't know if you're supposed to be living in that middle floor or not. That's an issue for another person on another day with you and your daycare issue. I'm grouping the basement with the other floor, and I just let her as a good Samaritan. No, you're making money off it, okay? Then she played you. Then she figured out, all right, it'll take you 6 months to get me out of here. I'm just not going to pay you rent. And now you want to keep the security deposit for all those months that she lived there without paying rent. And that should have been handled in housing court. I'm not sure why. They ended up giving you a sum of 0. I don't know why, because if they took 4 months to handle the case, they could certainly handle the security deposit. You wanted to raise your hand and tell me what?
Yeah. They did say that I'm not to give him any rent, and that
has nothing to do with this. It's whether he has to give you back the security deposit. That should have been handled there so that you wouldn't have to come to court again. It wasn't. So what's going on now is I'm going to handle it here, and I find that you cannot keep it for rent because you have a 2-family home that you're running, and I believe you do have somebody up on the top floor. And whether you do or not, you're still running it like a 3-family because it's got its own separate stuff. So I am finding in favor of the plaintiff and ordering you to return the security deposit, $1,000 verdict for the plaintiff.
So the judge agrees with the plaintiff, and the defendant, Mr. Hines, has to give back, if you step over here, sir, the $1,000 that you said was security deposit. You got to give it back to her. What do you think about what the judge just decided?
I agree with the judge.
You do? That's amazing, because she said that you're doing things wrong, that you have people living on the 3rd floor. Do you?
But that's irrelevant. But if the judge feels that she should get some money back, I'm totally okay with that. I was just helping somebody out, and this is the way it turned out. So it is what it is.
That's pretty interesting. Okay, because she disagreed with everything you said, in effect. All right, thank you very much. You've got to give that, and you're going to have to sign some documents on your way out, okay?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good enough. Ms. Oudkirk, congratulations. Yeah, you've prevailed here. You went to court before,
Oh, yeah.
and now you're here. You're winning here.
Yes.
Okay, you're not still living there, are you?
No, I'm not living there anymore.
Okay,
Yeah. So honesty is the best way out.
well, good enough. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Okay. Harvey?
In every single lease in America, there's something called a warranty of habitability, whether it's in the lease or not, and that means you have a right to an apartment that is healthy and safe.